place. This tyre choice and when to come in. Wow. Well, the biggest choice has got to be made by this man. He looks behind once again. He wants to know where Lorenzo is. He's probably having a look at the big screens as much as he can as well, just to work out. You do imagine he is going to have to come in at some point. How's the weather, Dylan?
Yeah, he doesn't want to make the bike change, Valentino, and risk being overtaken by Jorge Lorenzo. He had another good long look over his shoulder. I'm sure he'll have another look at the big screens now as he comes through turn number 14. Are we going to see Valentino Rossi now come into the pits? Rubber flying off the front tyre also of Jorge Lorenzo. Surely they can't carry on these wet Bridgestone tyres on this drying track.
Here is Marc Marquez, who is out on the slick tyres.
No, Rossi stayed out. He stayed out.
Thank you, Dylan. Here is Marc Marquez.
Lorenzo's in. Lorenzo's in.
Wow. Right, Lorenzo in. Lorenzo's obviously thinking, right, I've got to go for it now. I've got to take that. Jorge Lorenzo is in. Quickly swaps over to the bike with the slick tyres. He started with that bike. He then had to switch to the bike with the wets, and now he's back out with the slick.
And interestingly enough, they have switched to the medium front tyre. Do you remember they were on the hard beforehand? Well, they know in these cooler conditions, so now got a medium front in there.
I cannot believe that Valentino Rossi will not come in on the next lap now. He's obviously had a look at the screen.
Yeah, look at this.
He obviously knows.
Marc Marquez is out on slick tyres. He's almost 10 seconds faster than Valentino Rossi. Rossi, as he left it too late, it was a big gamble by the World Championship leader. Bradley Smith now is up into the podium places. He's 11 seconds faster than Valentino Rossi. Everybody now has come in for a second bike swap, apart from the race leader, Valentino Rossi. Surely Rossi is going to have to come in this time. He's giving up way too much time compared to those riders on slicks. He's been told before, box by his team. He comes through turn 11. He has to come in this time, surely.
What a big decision this is for the 36-year-old Italian. Here he is through the Cavoni corner, coming down now through turn 12, 13. He must know that that rubber is pouring off his front tyre, ripping into the rubber on the drying surface, wet weather tyres. We're about to find out if he is going to go in.
Yeah, he's going to come in surely because he's only 7 seconds clear of Marc Marquez. He had no choice, Valentino Rossi, but to come into the pits. Is it one lap too late though? Because now what this means is we'll have a podium of Marc Marquez, Bradley Smith, possibly Loris Paz. Rossi in the pits though.
Rossi in. Has he timed it right? Has he timed it wrong? Marc Marquez now leads the race. Marc Marquez, you've got to say, made the choice well. Rossi is back out with the bike with the slicks. There is 7 laps to go.
Oh, what's this? Is that Lorenzo? Jorge Lorenzo has crashed. I thought that was a factory Yamaha. Drama in the MotoGP World Championship. Disaster for Lorenzo. He's crashed out of the Misano Grand Prix. Huge moment in the 2015 MotoGP World Championship. Lorenzo out of the race.
Jorge Lorenzo out. Valentino Rossi now. Whoa, that is a big crash coming through turn 15 for Jorge Lorenzo. Lorenzo out of the race. Where is Rossi going to find himself now? I'm sure they're going to tell him that Lorenzo is out. Marquez surely is going to win the race. Boy, we're going to have Bradley Smith and Loris Paz. Lorenzo out. The team are telling Valentino Rossi that could be the moment of the World Championship.
What an incredible moment for Jorge Lorenzo. He was pushing on those slick tyres. It would have been his first flying lap. Big crash at turn number 15. There's been so many twists and turns in this MotoGP World Championship so far this year. That was another huge swing back to Valentino Rossi. What it means is this man we're riding with now, Bradley Smith, is in second place behind Marc Marquez. And Loris Paz, he is on the podium in third position. He had a couple of podium finishes here in World Superbikes last year. He'd have got pretty long odds on him being on the podium here today. But what drama. Rossi's going to see the board for the first time out. He'll see Lorenzo out.
Here's Bradley Smith running in second place. You've got a glimpse very briefly there of Loris Paz, one of the very early riders back in to change back to the slick tyres. Scott Redding in 4th place. Valentino Rossi, well, let's see where he's going to come across the line. But the big news that is Lorenzo is out of the race, and he'll just pick up some World Championship points.
Rossi
He's
fifth.
in 5th place. He won't be too disappointed. 23 points then would be the advantage for Valentino Rossi. He left it late to come, and it may have not been the right decision, but he's vindicated. But of course, Lorenzo was back out there on the slick tyres when he crashed.
Jorge Lorenzo never finished outside of the top 2 here in Misano. He's finished this race in the gravel, and with his World Championship hopes hanging by a thread, here's Marc Marquez. He is going to potentially take a first ever MotoGP victory here in Misano. There's his father, Julian. Calm down, Mark, calm down. Marquez in as those wet tyres, but deteriorating grip in the dry. He was really struggling to run that pace of Rossi and Lorenzo. Here we go, we're on board with Lorenzo, turn 15.
Yeah, it's the left-hander coming up now after the series of rights. Oh, big crash for Jorge Lorenzo. Turn 15, he's just gone out on the slick tyres, hasn't he?
Well, with that crash, as he rolls through the gravel, that's a massive blow for Lorenzo's World Championship hopes. Masahiko Nakajima on the right-hand side of your screen there, the Yamaha boss. He knows what a massive moment that was in terms of the championship. Marc Marquez has started lap number 24 with 5 laps to go. Marquez, Bradley Smith and Loris Baz on the podium. Scott Redding heading for what would be a career best 4th. In fact, Scott Redding could be heading for the podium because he's only 1.6 seconds behind Loris Baz, and Redding on that previous lap almost 3 seconds quicker than Baz. We could have 2 riders, 2 British riders on the MotoGP podium here today in Misano.
There was Marquez, followed by Smith. So Smith stayed out, didn't he? Quite a long time on the slick tyres early on before he came and changed to wets.
Yeah, he essentially spent very little time on the wet tyre, probably some of the fewest laps of everyone out there.
Here's Redding now closing right up on Loris Baz. This is the battle for 3rd place. As you can see, Baz desperately trying to hold on to what would be an unbelievable career first MotoGP podium. There is Scott Redding. Don't forget, Scott Redding has crashed out of this race early on, didn't he? Or was that in the... he was, yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I'm sorry, there's so much has happened.
Oh, keeping track of everything. Dylan, you've done a great job. You've kept us sane here, I think, with exactly what's going on. Does look like almost inevitable that Scott Redding is going to take 3rd place. There's 4.5 laps to go. What a great result for Scott Redding. Forget the conditions. You take advantage of the conditions that are thrown at you. And they've obviously made some very good decisions. Marc Marquez, Bradley Smith. Bradley Smith crosses the line, less than 6 seconds down on Marc Marquez. He's in a very safe 2nd place. And Marquez chasing that 1st ever victory in the MotoGP class. But the big news here, 1, the weather, and 2, the crash of Jorge Lorenzo. And here comes Redding.
Redding up the inside of Loris Baz at turn number 2. That's the battle for 3rd place. It's Scott Redding there now who takes over. He scored a career best 6th place finish last time out at his home Grand Prix at Silverstone. Is he going to take a career first Premier Class podium here in Misano? He's been much quicker than Loris Baz over these last couple